I then began radiation treatments, and Dr. Julie Gimmel was my doctor at the Willamette Valley Cancer Center.
You know, we had a pretty bald-headed lady in front of us when I first met her, and Hank, and you know, she was very, very nervous and scared, and I could see that.
And she was such a sweetie. Not old enough to be, say, my mom figure, but more like my best friend figure. And to see her smile in my fear was very helpful. And just to think, radiation, my gosh, that's scary. What in the world is that? You don't really know.
What I talk to Stacie about, and any breast cancer patient that comes in, is how radiation is used to combine with the surgery they've usually had first in order to produce local control of the cancer in the breast and the regional lymph nodes that are there.
You go in, and I kind of felt like a piece of fabric at the fabric store. How they shuffle you on the table is kind of how they shuffle fabric, and they line it up and they get that just right, and they snip it and they make sure it's lined up just right, and then they cut it. Well, that's how I felt on the table.
We're different than chemotherapy because chemotherapy goes usually in an IV and it goes circulating through the whole body, whereas radiation, I like to say it's like shining a flashlight just on one part of your body.
I laid there. They're moving the table. I have red lines that are coming down and lining up.
I have a lot of shields up inside the top part of my machine, and every one of those 80 shields is individually motorized to be placed just exactly where it needs to be to shape the field.
So then you lay there, and they all leave the room, and the machine turns on and makes a loud noise and moves and rotates over you, and then it goes off, and they come back in, and you're all done, and that was 10 minutes, and you come and do it again the next day.
Radiation being kind of the last stop on the journey, people are starting to feel closer to the goal, but they're also pretty worn out and tired, and you know, she had a whole family that she was taking care of. You know, she was a young, healthy woman when she went into this whole thing.
It did make me feel a little bit nauseous at times, and sometimes I couldn't eat as well. And for the first time in my life, I realized it was a bad thing to lose 5 pounds in 1 week.
There's a lot of energy going out in a lot of directions, and as I like to tell patients during radiation, your body is going to start the recovery process from chemotherapy. So, and with her, since chemo was still going on, it was still, you know, fighting that battle at the same time.
The other symptom that I experienced was just being tired, just being really worn out. When that many of your cells are dying and trying to replicate themselves, and there's a lot going on in your body trying to heal, and so it does create a lot of tiredness. But you know, I became really good friends with the nursing staff there as well. Shared recipes with each other, always hugs, and Julie was just always a beaming light to see every time we were there.
And the whole thing is painless. They come in, they get a treatment, they leave feeling just as good as they did when they got there, and in fact better because they're one day closer to being done.
I think radiation was a piece of cake compared to chemo. But mind you, depending on where you're getting the treatment, it could be a different story.